All right. Welcome back into episode 5 of the Somewhat Close to Everything We Need podcast. We have guest Pete here today. Pete, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Leb, are you frozen or are you gay?
No, I'm just ready to get into it.
Hey, frozen time.
Give me all your rockets.
Frozen time on here. I want you to get with the times. Pete, welcome on to your first episode of this podcast. So we know you have another podcast with us that talks about sports. Do you want to run through that before we get started?
Yeah. But before we jump into the business, just real quick. All right, let's do this.
Shout out to the Press Coverage Podcast. You can find the three of us on there. We're going to be having some guests on pretty soon. Go give that a hit on YouTube.
All about them hits, you know?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's just jump right into the show then, shall we? So, Pete, a known alias of yours at times is Crumples. How did that come to be? And why do I still call you that, even if that's not your current gamer tag?
You see, it's a pretty similar story to Sam's, besides for all the money and changing names and stuff like that. But when I first got my Xbox, my original name was Crumply Disc, I believe 714.
I thought it was like 5117.
Oh, that could be it. That
sounds right to me.
Don't call. But yeah, no, that's how I got that. But you don't even call me that, like, ever, unless you're
I
like.
feel like when we're playing Fortnite, I'll yell it out. I'll be like, Crumples. It's just, I don't know. Every once in a while. It's not as common as Frozen or anything, but I whip it out every once in a while.
True.
Crumply Disc was one of the iconic names in our group's history, I would say. Behind Frozen, it's one of our favorite names to call out. Maybe Chubbles, although his name has gone through significant difference. However, you recently, or not recently, but you did change from Crumply Disc to Buns Bod. Can you explain this change?
And can you explain why Leb is not also in the Buns clan?
All right. So basically, I in high school, I was a little bit larger, a little bit more plump, like not big, you know, like plumper. And
you had a bod going.
Yeah, a little dad bod. So I was proud of my dad bod.
Was the name that you heard Plumple Stillskin?
No, never heard that one before. That would be a good one though. That would be like a Tyler original, but no. So I was called Dad Bod throughout high school for my hockey team. And then that somehow shifted over to our high school. I played for a completely different high school, but it shifted over to our high school.
It's just so visible.
Yeah, I know. It's just there, large and in charge. So everybody made their names Buns, and they all had to do with bread. And I was like, there's no more breads. So fuck it. I'll go with my nickname. So that's how I did that. But Leb, on the other hand, joined the old clan and used his free one and wasn't like Sam and spent $300 on changing names. So he is still in the Bloody clan.
Yeah, sadly.
We'll never be in the Buns clan group chat, it seems like.
I refuse to lose any sort of points for staying humble and not spending any money that I don't have.
All right, started Giraffe 4.
I think he could be Buns Lasagna.
In my notes here, we have listed Dolphins hat and nothing else, with no sort of explanation. Would you like?
Yeah, Love doesn't quite understand this one. I don't know if Pete will get it without me explaining it either.
No, I think I understand it.
All right. What do you think about that?
School. Am I right? Elementary school?
Yeah, you are correct.
I wore my old school Dolphins hat to school. It was like an old school one.
How did you feel about this hat? Was it your favorite?
I loved this hat. My grandfather gave me this hat, and I just put it on one day. I was wearing it at recess, and all of a sudden, my good friend Matt comes behind me and rips it off my head, and the snapback broke. It's still sitting in my room to this day.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad about that one. I'm not gonna lie. Not my best day.
It happens. No.
But think about it. I'm in an elementary school in New Jersey. I'm walking around as a Jets fan, and I see this kid wearing a Dolphins hat, all proud about it. So naturally, the move is to run up and yank it off his head, not intentionally breaking it, but if stuff happens.
Of course. Were we friends at this point?
I don't think we were that good friends even. Like, we were friends probably, but we weren't close or anything.
Oh, probably.
Pete, I would say generally you were in the wrong for wearing a Dolphins hat in a New Jersey, New York sport team state.
Generally, that's just not proper etiquette.
I mean, you gotta rep your team,
By wearing any sort of Dolphins gear, you are acknowledging that any sort of fan of New York teams is allowed to rip up and vandalize
to assault you
at any given time.
Is that a law?
Claim?
I believe it's law.
Did like the president pass that, or like you? Did you pass
I
it?
think Webb might have passed it.
Oh, okay.
I am above the law, so I create laws nowadays.
I thought
Anyway,
so.
we were talking about your dad bod just a few minutes ago.
Mhm.
And so your dad bod, it came to be from lots of eating, right? Some might
Yeah.
even consider you to be an oaf.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
some also have considered me to be an oaf. And we did a thing called Oaf Week. So do you want to tell us about the original Oaf Week and how that may have evolved?
So I got my license junior year in October, so early on in the year, very early. So I believe this might have been like maybe the second week I had my license, and we had just discovered a Quick Check approximately 15 minutes away from our high school, maybe a little shorter. I don't know. I don't have the exact details, but me and Matt, I think a couple other people went every single day, but maybe like 5 of us would go every day, but not the same 5. But we would
Whoever didn't want to go to cross country practice that day.
exactly. So we would throw Leb in my trunk because I drive a Jeep and it's like big enough and we didn't have enough seats. So we would go to Quick Check every day of that week. It was a pretty oafy week.
By any chance, would you call it Oaf Week?
I would call it oaf week, but not as oafy as Matt's oaf Wendy's week.
My Wendy's Oaf Week was bad. So basically, that second Oaf Week of mine, we were on a bit of a streak where after school we didn't know what to do, so we would just go to Wendy's, get some food. But it just so happened that this particular week, every single day I went to Wendy's after school. So it wasn't even one of my standard meals. It was just like a snack of me eating Wendy's. And I didn't feel too great at the end of it, I'll be honest. But on Fridays, we did get to see the Asian Society. Shout out to them.
Yes.
And I hope they're still thriving in this quarantine.
I think that they were actually your first subscriber, if I was right.
I think so too. Yeah, that they all during their meetings weekly, they actually listen to our podcast. So it's pretty cool.
We're getting comments asking if anyone would like to be our friend, so we really do appreciate the friendship.
Logan, I see you down there. We would love to be your friend.
I think Logan wants to be friends on the press coverage podcast as well.
Yeah, Logan's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So we have one more thing we want to talk about before we start getting into the more interactive, fun stuff with you. So why don't you tell us more about your favorite sport of hockey? We have here that you enter a hockey mode, and we've seen this mode firsthand. Why don't you tell us about the
It's a scary place to be.
of your hockey mode and how this differs from your normal modes?
So I guess I'm normally in like standard mode, like just a normal standard
So
mode.
do you have 2 modes?
Yeah, I'd say just 2 modes. Like standard mode is like me normally. I'm a pretty like likable guy. I'd like to say like a pretty like normal guy. But sometimes you get a little ticked off. Like this one time when Tyler pushed me into a wall, and he didn't even help me get up, and I was very hurt. And I was just lying there for a good 10 minutes.
And no one
I
helped you
decided that I was going to get up and beat the shit out of him.
naturally because
Yeah.
you left standard mode.
Yes, this was one of my best friends at the time. But you got to do what you got to do. You flip the switch, you go into hockey mode, and you kick some ass.
And is that what happened?
That's pretty much what happened. Besides the first time that I went in hockey mode, and I actually lost.
How many times have you entered hockey mode, and what is your record?
I've gone into hockey mode approximately 3 times. 2 times with Tyler. The first time, I lost. I was very angry, and I was falling because it was muddy.
I do recall that you were just stumbling around a bit in pure anger.
Yes, I was slow and large and could not catch him.
He was a little bit quicker than you.
Yeah, a little bit. It's fine. It's fine.
What happened the second time?
So the second time we were in his room, so he couldn't really get away. So that's the time that I kind of handed it to him. And then the third time was actually at college.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't know this could happen without Tyler, but now it's been scientifically proven.
Apparently it can, but my friend actually squirt me with a water pistol, and we had been playing this game the whole night, and he thought that I squirt him, so he got to squirt me. Those were kind of like the rules, like you could squirt one person, they could squirt you, whatever. But I didn't, so he kept squirting me. And I was like, I didn't squirt you, bro. And he was like, no, you did. I was like, no. So I went to steal it from him, and he kept hiding it from me. And he was bigger and taller than me, like most people are.
So it'd be kind of like if I held it like over your head and you're trying to flail and reach it would be like that.
Yeah, he's like the height of you with like the girth of me.
That's a scary sight.
Yeah, but I actually held my own and actually ripped his entire shirt off, like through the seams. And yeah, I was a little angry.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, we made up afterwards. We're still pretty cool, so it was just a misunderstanding.
In fact, wearing Dolphins gear.
at the time.
Because we have established earlier that if someone is wearing off teams in a different state, you are legally allowed to rip it
And
off.
this is Philly territory, so all
Yeah, the
bets are off
problem
there.
is he's an Eagles fan and lives in New Jersey.
Was he wearing Eagles gear?
I believe so.
Then
Ooh.
I think it is perfect.
And you ripped it up.
And you were very
Yeah.
much in the right in this scenario.
I mean, you do what you got to do for your country.
The second clause says if anyone's wearing Eagles gear anywhere, you're allowed to rip it off of them. So,
Exactly.
are you ready to jump into
Sort
some
of.
trivia then?
I've been studying. I'm pretty excited. I got my calculator here. I'm ready to go.
All right, it looks like he's prepared.
So you're the
Pull it up
first
real quick.
ever trivia game participant that's come prepared.
hmm
So do you have anything to say to your previous, maybe friends, associates, anyone who's been on the show so far?
Well, am I allowed to talk about the original first episode?
Yes, of course.
Okay, well, originally there was an episode, and I was actually featured on it. This would have been my debut, and I'm a little upset that it missed the cut. But Dante couldn't remember my birthday, and I've been friends with Dante since preschool. But it's whatever. So I'm a little disappointed in that he only got one question right. Ashley and Sam held their own. Ashley held her own. She did pretty good. Not like elite or anything. Sam, on the other hand, he's a trivia god. He knows what he's doing. So I'm kind of nervous about that score, but I think I can handle it.
So
Yeah,
where
so-
do you think you'll rank among these people if you were to guess now?
I'm gonna go with between second and first.
Oh, okay,
Alright,
he's
so
confident.
He's playing to beat Ashley's 3.5 out of 6 score, but he doesn't expect to beat Sam's 5 out of 6 score in our trivia challenge.
I'm shooting for the stars right here.
And you heard that, Don. He wasn't going to let it go that you forgot his birthday. And I heard some other people weren't too happy about the results of your birthday answers. But we'll jump right into this episode here. Question 1, category arts and literature. This question might look a little familiar if you've tuned into one of the previous episodes. But who was the second Chinese writer to win a Nobel Prize for Literature? A, Zhang Ailing, B, Cao Yu, C, Mo Yan, or D, Gao Zhengzhan?
So as a fan of the show, I've seen this question before. But as a fan of the contestants on the show, I studied these people, just as Sam did. And this is just such an easy one. It is obviously C. Mo Yan.
All right, let's see how he's done. He nails it 1 for 1.
Wow, so Pete coming right in strong, doing the research, getting Mo Yan. We're going to have to change up this question for next week because it looks like people are
Whoever's
still-
up next might want to see who the third person to win a Nobel Prize is in this situation. Who knows, though? It could be any question. All right. You ready to move on to question 2?
I was born ready.
All right. Category, history. Fill in the blank. Blank, I am gay. Options, A, yes. B, no. C, perhaps. D, you choose to leave the option blank.
This is a tough one here. Wait. Is the question geared towards you, Matt?
That's going to be brought up later, actually, but this one is geared towards you.
Towards me?
We
Towards
need
you.
you to answer as honestly as possible. And when you answer, please say your answer in the form of A, B, C, or D, followed by the actual answer choice.
Yeah, we need you to read the sentence out.
Okay, based on these context clues, I don't know because I really just am not gay. But based on the people who wrote these questions and those context clues that you gave me, I'm gonna have to go with D. Leave blank. I am gay.
All right, let's see how we fared on this one.
Let's see how you did.
The answer we were looking for was perhaps I am gay.
That was my second option.
We know you've been a little confused, so we thought perhaps was the answer that we'd go for here.
I
But
really
1
don't,
for 2, that's a decent start, though.
I don't think I've ever been confused, but we can move on.
Listen,
All right, let's move on to question
gotta
3. Agree to
bounce back
disagree.
from this poor, horrible, disgusting, horrible effort.
So your effort's been all right so far. Let's move on to question 3. Category, entertainment. What did RD tell the police officer who halted your altercation? A, everything is fucking fine, officer. B, shut up, dipshit. C, there's no issue, sir. D, I love you, Pete.
I mean, he probably said D right before our altercation, and that's probably why we had an altercation. But I'm gonna have to go with A. Everything is fucking fine, officer.
All right, let's see how he's done on this one. He nails it. Everything is fucking fine, officer. Pete, 2 for 3. How do you feel right now?
Pretty good. That was a pretty fun time in my life, and I'm glad I didn't forget it.
So, just for reference to anyone watching, I was there for this incident. I'm not sure how many of us were, but Ardit was bothering the shit out of Pete, and Pete decided he had enough. He turned to Ardit, pushed him into the air a little bit so that he lost his footing, and then dropped him into a nearby bush.
Never seen anything like it.
In eye shot of a police car driving down the street. And
This is borderline hockey mode, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I believe he touched my face, which led to the altercation.
All right, but he did what he needed to do, and RD told the officer what he needed to say. So
I
let's move on
wish
to
we
question
could have
4.
had it on video, but it's a great memory.
You know, he might have been wearing Eagles gear. I think that's why I might have done it.
Oh, see, then it's allowable.
Yeah, you know what? That's totally legal.
That's why everything was fucking fine, officer.
Let's see what we got up next here. Category, geography. What number am I thinking of?
7. 7.
All right, let's see if we got it right. The answer was indeed 7. Pete, how did you know that?
I am actually a mind reader in my spare time.
Oh, okay, let's move on to question 5. Category, sports and leisure. Who was not top 5 in rushing yards in the NFL in 2019? A, Nick Chubb, B, Chris Carson, C, Dalvin Cook, or D, Zeke Elliott?
This is a tough one.
And it's a big question here, right? He's 3 for 4 at the moment, I believe.
These
This is
are
a pivotal
all
question.
good running backs. Dalvin Cook was definitely top 5. Chris Carson was injured for a little bit of time, and he split carries a little bit, but I think that, I don't know. Nick Chubb definitely was. Ezekiel Elliott was. I'm going to go with B, Chris Carson.
B, Chris Carson. Lev, what do you think? Because you haven't been privy to the answer to this question either.
Now, I haven't seen this question before. I can tell you Nick Chubb was number 2, and I can tell you Dalvin Cook made it even though he was hurt. I wanted to say it was Dalvin Cook. I know for a fact that if Chris Carson is going to be on this list, he had to be a part of it. He had too many carries. If I were to guess, even with a statistical season, I would say Zeke.
All right, let's see how they've done. The answer, in fact, was Dalvin Cook because of his injuries.
Damn.
We both seem to drop the ball on this one.
I mean, we had the right thought process. But
Dalvin Cook, I would believe, was either 7 or 8, so he wasn't even one off. He was dominant in the games he played, but he just missed quite a few games at the end there.
he was up there in fantasy, kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, it was a bit of a trick question. I'll admit it. It was a bit sneaky by me. But you ready to move on to the last question? You need to nail this one to get over Ashley.
Do I need my calculator for this one?
You're going to need it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Because science is our category. How many years would it take for Miss Nano to fix the sink? Or how long would it take?
Do I get a time limit?
You have 30 seconds after I read the options.
Okay.
A, 1 day. B, 1 week. C, 2 weeks. Or D, 16 years.
You have 30 seconds starting now, and I will keep time as we continue.
All right, Leb, do you think he's going to get this one and become the second best trivia score?
I mean, if I'm being completely honest,
I worked it!
I don't know, and I believe that Pete didn't either. He may have a tough time trying to calculate this one out in 15 seconds.
Ah!
Seems like the calculator might be malfunctioning.
Can I use a paper and pencil?
Yes, 10 seconds.
Time, 10 seconds.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
16 years!
1.
D, 16
The answer is, in fact, D, 16 years. He goes 4 for 6.
Let's have some fake celebration. He's second all time out of everyone we've ever had played this game with.
Yeah.
One
Well
question
done,
worse
well
than
done.
Sam.
That was a great performance. How do you feel right now?
Thank you.
He
So
feels
walk
great.
me through your mindset on this final question. How did you come to the term of 16 years?
So basically, I was there when she screamed at me for touching the sink. I was just chilling, sitting at the lab table. We had me, Matt, Sam, Ryan Stevens, and Zach Goldstein. And I believe I was just sitting like this, kind of like just like chilling out.
Wait, hold on. What was that? Was that Zach Goldstein or Zach Goldstein?
Zach. I've never heard of Zach before in my life.
Okay, just making sure.
Zach. So I was just chilling out, hanging my arm out, holding the sink. She turns over. Mind you, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm pretty tired. She goes, Peter, do you know how long it takes to fix those sinks? I said, no, Mr. Nano, how long does it take? She goes, 16 years. And it's never been imprinted in my mind since that moment.
And then after some calculations, he was able to remember. So good job.
I thought I was going to forget to carry the one, but it actually worked out in the end.
All right, so I hate to bring this up right after such a dominant performance, but something else that happened soon after you got your driver's license, there was a bit of a fender bender. Do you want to explain what happened that day and who might have been the cause of it?
I believe he's located at the bottom of your screen right now. I don't know what the viewers are going to see, but it was obviously Michael Patrick Labette. He was actually distracting me, and I was a new driver, so he was yelling at me. We were leaving the school parking lot. Things are going slow. I'm like, all right, I got enough time to look behind my back and maybe yell at him a little bit. But no, my foot left the brake, and a little bendy happened, you know?
So all those new drivers out there, don't let your foot leave the brake.
Don't turn around to yell at your stupid friends.
Now, so another interesting occurrence was that I believe Elizabeth was in the car at this time. It was the first time she was in the car. So A, was she a curse? And B, did you ever let her in your car again?
Yes, she was a curse. But B, the curse had gotten lifted, and I did drive her home one time during a snowstorm because she needed a ride.
That sounds like a dangerous idea.
I know.
A combination of things there.
I'm pretty sure that I flipped a coin to think if I should let her come or not.
Well, you got to let the coin answer, you know.
So that ended up being a successful coin flip. How do you feel about making it through that situation without any sort of danger?
Well, I'm just glad to be alive, if I'm being honest. That I could have gone into another fender bender, and that probably would have took my life. But you know when you're playing basketball, ball don't lie. The ball didn't lie. She came back to me. I put her in the car, drove her home, safe and sound.
Would you say that you put her in your backpack
And
and you carried her to victory?
It was more of my car, not really my backpack, because she was physically in my car. I don't think she would fit in my backpack, you fucking idiot. But, yeah, I pretty much backpacked her home in my car.
Wow, fascinating stuff here.
Very fascinating. So jumping into a new subject here, Pete, I hear that you do attend college at Rowan University.
I do.
Not Stockton like your shirt might say, but that's just because of your being a programming guy, so I understand.
Yeah, I'm actually a god at programming. I was actually on the A team in high school, along with you, Matthew.
Yes, of course.
Something I don't understand before we continue. Is Stockton University named after John Stockton?
I believe it is. I believe he founded the university.
And shout out to the Chick-fil-A inside of Stockton University. That was actually the origins of NO feeding, so shout out.
So John Stockton, you've done as well.
If you want to check out Evan's Instagram at I'm Evan021. Actually, I think that's a Snapchat. I think it's just Evan Ordona. You'll actually see a picture of us all at that coding competition. Not Led.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Led is not a good coder.
So, Ev, if that is a shout out, we wanted to give you some free publicity for your Instagram. Give us some publicity for our show on your Instagram. Post a picture of us and shout us out right now.
But Evan, don't look at my Instagram. There's a picture of a box on there. I don't want you to get scared.
It's a little scary. But back to Rowan. How have you enjoyed your first semester and even first year there?
Well, I've had some unlucky times there, but I actually loved the school, had a good hockey season, had a decent second semester. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Do you know any professors that used to work at your school that are now deceased due to coronavirus?
I don't think so. I think there might have been one.
I don't know where he's going with this one, but I think we should move on.
One at Delaware, and that only proves that Delaware is superior to Rowan in every way, including coronavirus casualties. What do you have to say about these claims?
Well, I believe that I did single-handedly beat your hockey team by scoring in a shootout, so I do believe that we do have a better hockey team.
They have a better player, at least, that's for sure.
My rebuttal is that nobody watches hockey.
Actually, a lot of people watch hockey. You idiot.
My roommate, who played hockey all of high school, did not watch the Rowan Delaware hockey game. And he has red hair.
That was a good rebuttal. The red hair factor, especially.
He does have red hair. So, I mean, that could go into why he did not make the team. But I mean, they might just be racist. I mean, you don't know.
Racism is the best answer here. But anyway, while you were at college, or over the summer even, before college, you seemed to be a bit of a novice poker player. And while you were at college, somehow you seemed to become a gambling addict of sorts. So what happened exactly?
You see, so it started off small, just playing little like games for fun, little exhibition games like Leb likes to play because he's scared to lose his money. But
He's a little
yeah,
frightened.
I wasn't very good back then, even though I should be better because it's not real money. But like once you get the money involved, it's pretty serious. So now I believe the most I bought in for one specific game was about $35. But yeah, I played pretty much every day at college. We all invested in a big poker table we put in our common room, and yes, now I'm addicted.
So would you say that you're a gambling addict?
You would, in fact, use the word addicted. This is something that I find a little funny. So we have here today for you a test of sorts that we want you to take. So this is the gambling addiction test. Are you addicted? Take this test to find out. Are you ready?
Yes.
So let's get started here. This is your hand. How are you feeling about your situation so far? We're going to give you a simulated round of poker, and we want you to talk about what your mindset's like with each step of the game, how much you would be willing to bet. Here's your hand. What are you thinking?
All right, so right now I have pocket frozens, also known as pocket rockets, and I'm feeling pretty good about the hand going in. I have the top pair. We just got to see how the board lays out.
So check, better, fold. What would you say here?
Is there? Am I first to act?
Yes.
What's the buy-in at? What are the antes? What's the whole situation?
Well, all you know is your cards. How do you feel right now, and what are you willing to put into this hand?
So if I'm not the blind, if I'm going in cold, I think and the blinds were 100, I think I'd actually raise it to about 300.
So it feels pretty confident.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's start with that. You're at 300 in, and you have this hand. So here's your flop. How are you feeling?
Shout out to Vector Stock.
I'm still feeling pretty good. I have top pair on the board. There's no flush draws out there, so I'm still feeling pretty good about this hand.
So check, better, fold. Give us that every time we arrive here.
Right here, I'd give a little bit of a check just to kind of throw my opponents off because I bet big pre-flop, so maybe they think I have nothing off the flop.
All right, let's move into round two. The turn. How are you feeling now?
Now I got trips. I'm feeling good. This is pretty much a locked-in dub unless somebody else has the other ace and either a king, 5, or 7. So I'm pretty sure this is locks. I think I'm going to check again here because seeing this big card come out, I think my opponents would try and scare me away by throwing up big bets so I don't have to do the betting myself and I still look like I'm playing from behind when I'm really ahead.
All right, so using a sort of strategy that not a lot of people may employ looking to get money, but we do see where you're coming from here. Now moving on to the final turn of the river. How do you feel?
So here I'm boated up on a Tuesday afternoon, and I'm feeling pretty darn good. I'm not losing to any hand pretty much unless you're playing with a second deck and there's a couple more aces out there and there's 4 of a kind. But yeah, I'm feeling fantastic. Right here, I don't know, you see, poker's all about maximizing your profits, but right now I think we got a pretty big hand going here, a pretty big pot. So I think I would shove all in right here.
He's going all in.
Therefore, if my opponent feels like I'm lying, like I'm bluffing, they call me. But if not, I just take down a pretty nice pot and I move on.
Yeah, so me and Lev have been playing, and we're willing to all in as well.
Yeah, so we've been playing along with you. You're all in. This is all.
Let's see who's the better poker player here.
So let's find out. Let's see your hand compared to ours.
Let me see the extra hand.
Oh, and it looks like you have the worst hand here, actually. Matt has 4 of a kind kings, and I had a straight flush. So you just lost all of your money. How are you feeling?
I mean, that's a tough look. I'd probably buy back in for double what you guys have. Strong hand, you guys. And
I think that confirms he is, in fact, an addict.
So Pete,
how do you feel about Lev's hand specifically?
I think he has a little too many cards in his hand. Maybe if we were playing War or something, or like 52 pickup, he'd win. But I don't think that that's a real hand right there.
So
what about my hand? Is that a fair loss to me?
Wait, do your quads beat a full house?
Quads do, in fact, beat a full house.
Okay, just making sure. You see, I don't think that we'd ever get this in a real life situation. But if we did, I might just have to go hockey mode on the dealer.
So
That's only
I'm very
fair.
sorry. You have very much failed this gambler's test. You've gone all in and lost it all. If this were real life, you would be in a really bad situation. So we just want to watch out for you before you go down a bad road.
Yeah, probably be in poverty. So
We hope you learned something here that no matter what you get, even if you have a full house of pocket aces, you're going to lose to my straight flush.
you're right.
You have to know when to fold up, Pete. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if I was listening to that song, "The Gambler" by Kenny Rogers, I don't think I would have lost that hand.
Know when to walk away.
Know when to run.
Run. You better count your blessings when you're sitting at the table, Pete.
All right. Shall we move on to a less dark note with a segment of Leb's drawings? Personal favorite of mine. Leb, do you want to reveal your drawing or start it while me and Pete have a nice discussion?
Yeah, I wish I could just reveal to you my drawing, but an artist needs to take his time.
Of course. And we'll give you all the time you need. So, Pete, we are in fact in a global pandemic at the moment.
This is a fact.
We're stuck in our houses for the most part. So what have you been doing to pass the time?
Well, I'm bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored. But recently, I've re-picked up Fortnite. I'm still not very good, but definitely better than when I first started. I've also been playing a lot of online poker. As you guys can tell, I'm an addict from the last slide. We hung out.
I just want to call everyone who's been too scared to play me and Pete in poker online. Stop being so frightened.
Yeah. I played against you guys the other day, took all of your money. It's okay. Yeah. That's pretty much what I've been up to.
I'm having a bit of a tough time getting this to stay.
What have you been up to, Matt?
Me personally, being on multiple podcasts myself, it takes up a good amount of my time. You got to prep, set up the slideshows, get all that done. And of course, you have to play Xbox a good amount of time because, it's just what you do. The other day, believe it or not, Pete, I did text you when this happened. I woke up before 1 p.m.
Let's just give Matt a round of applause real quick.
Thank you. I know it's a very impressive feat for me. But unfortunately, what happened was I got really tired later that night, and I fell asleep at 9 p.m. and took an hour-long nap, which caused me to go to bed the next night at 7 a.m. again. So far, I just lost all my progress.
See, the thing is, I probably woke up at about 7 a.m. to start my day.
It's about when my day ended.
The amount of stuff that I get done while you are asleep is pretty astounding.
Okay, but keep in mind, while you were sleeping, I recovered my old Clash Royale account, was able to get it onto my phone, and gained about 900 trophies.
I take back just about everything I've said.
I know, it's very impressive.
I'm loving the picture we got going on here, Leb. I think I got the idea of it.
Thank you very much. I'm really putting in my effort here.
Make sure you know that. Who is that? That can't be you. That's not your hair.
It's not important.
No, you have to make it longer and look more stupid.
I'm not quite there
If
yet.
that is Leb, the hair is a little off, I must say.
I could see that being maybe Dante or Evan, maybe. I think Evan, probably.
Yeah, Evan, except, some other facial features don't quite match up, because I believe this one might in fact be Evan.
Oh, that might be Evan. That is also pretty racist, might I add. Actually, I think it's sexist. I'm kind of confused by the two.
It could be either one. Could be a bit misogynistic.
Did you learn about that in your gender studies class?
Oh, by the way, passed it.
like how high did you get on that?
Well, the thing is, if you take class pass fail, it's just you either passed or you failed, and I passed.
So like a solid D minus.
You needed a 74. I'll say that much.
Okay, so 75 you got.
Possible. Probably less than an 80. I'll say that much. But a pass is a pass.
That's true. Is that Matt, the tall ass one?
That probably is in fact me, I would guess.
I mean, you're not that much taller than Spencer, are you?
Oh, I forgot Spencer was there, because otherwise I was much taller than everyone else.
I feel like the hair's a little off as well.
All right, so Pete, what are you seeing so far? I think Leb's about to wrap up this drawing.
All right, so our friend Evan's birthday is, as Dante obviously would know, is June 21st. And he took us to Atlantis. I believe it was me, you, Michael, Evan, Dante, and Spencer. So you guys, it was getting pretty late. I don't remember exactly what time.
I think it was about 10 p.m.
Okay, so what was this, our second night, first night?
I think it was the second night.
All right, second night. So the first night, I believe I stayed up pretty late. Is that correct?
You did. You did.
Okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. At home, I've kind of been cursed with not being able to stay up very
Because
late.
you look like I want to mention how much fun it looks like I'm having specifically. Yay.
You look like you're having an absolute ball. So, I've been cursed because at home, all the lights are off in my house by approximately 9 o'clock. So my entire life, I've gone to sleep extremely early. But as I gotten older, it's been more difficult because my friends all stay up very late. But yeah, so we went to Atlantis, and I went to bed before everybody else, and you guys had a super fun time, and I was sleeping.
It was, in fact, the best night of the trip.
Mm.
Love, would you agree with that?
I found it to be so great that I even had Matt saying "yay" in my drawing.
That's probably a direct quote from me that night, I must say.
You see, the problem was, though, that I was in charge at this time.
Mhm.
You were indeed in charge.
That's the only way reason you got away with going to sleep. Otherwise, we wouldn't have let you.
Somehow this drawing shows a story of you asleep while we are all outside on
I'm
the.
in charge.
So you weren't there
Real
that.
quick, I just want to add one thing. There was, in fact, a hole in the sand. I'll just leave it at that.
So Pete, you weren't there this night, but I drew every single person specifically for a certain reason. I drew Dante as a baby. I drew Matt obscenely taller than everyone else, and Spencer looks a little more downcast than usual. There are reasonings to each drawing's significance. Can you explain them?
Yeah, so Matt was tall and excited because he's always tall and excited. Like, that's just a fact. Spencer was sick, I believe, during the trip, and he was getting ready to go on another trip following day. Dante is a baby. I'm really not sure about that one. And you being you is just unexplainable.
No one could ever explain it.
No.
Well, you did a pretty good job, but that was a total lie. I drew this mainly as an artistic rendition of what went down this day. But you did a good job trying to explain.
Considering you weren't there, like you did a pretty good
Glad
job.
that you
of
missed
explaining
it, and we had a great time. You know what? There's
I'm happy for you guys.
no
I
hate.
had a good time. I had a fantastic time on that trip as well.
I hope you had a good sleep that night.
I did. I slept very well.
Would you say that the picture that I drew is an accurate representation of everything that happened on this trip?
Everything?
Anything in here that's inaccurate that you want to bring up specifically?
Spencer looks a little short. Dante looks a little small. Evan looks a little too Chinese. I'm not
And
dead.
yeah, real quick while we're on this, I just want to say big shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Ordona.
Fact.
Thank you.
Big facts. My idols. Like, if Jesus
heroes.
died, I'd pray to them.
Now, they weren't shown in this drawing, but they are very much appreciated in the fact of this drawing's existence at all. So
They actually took us to Carmine's.
To Carmine's. All right.
that's all we have for you in my drawing segment. There will definitely be more to come, but
And here I want to jump into another middle school topic, a little bit controversial. So I believe 7th grade, this was teased a little earlier. There was rumors about me being a homosexual, and I may have created them. Pete, do you want to explain what happened there?
Yeah, it wasn't more of a rumor as it was you straight up coming out and telling me that you were gay. So at the
And
time,
what did you think when I said that?
So at the time, I was like, you're not gay. Come on, man. We've been friends for so long. Like, there's no way. So
Was that the end of it, or did you continue to speculate?
No. So, like, in my mind, I was like, there's no way. But I'm like, I don't want to be a dick. If he's gay, he's gay. He's still my friend. So I would chose to believe him. I was like, okay, that's gay, whatever. So I thought about it for a while, a couple of years maybe.
So would it be fair to say that you were bamboozled then?
I was quite bamboozled. I mean, I never was like, oh yeah, because Matt is quite the jokester. If you come to find out,
People don't really know that.
mm-hmm.
well, it's glad to see that you're both accepting of people when they have differing things, and you're also willing to keep looking and finding the best in your friends. We're really appreciative to have you around.
It's all about acceptance.
Of course.
And one thing we've learned to accept is that you're going to be our first episode where we have our very own live film session. So we're going to show you a quick video. We want you to analyze the tape and let us know what you think.
Oh God. Okay, let's see it.
So here is the video.
Oh, is this me playing basketball? Is this on YouTube?
Look a little closer.
Oh, I'm washing a car.
Are you watching this a car or are you watching your car?
I'm washing my car. That isn't me, my car.
Is this something you do frequently?
Yeah, I do that quite frequently. First of all, shout out UPS. They're the real heroes out there. Yeah, I do wash cars pretty often.
So we got some secret footage of you washing your car earlier this week.
Not this week. Today's Monday. Come on, bud. Get your
So
facts.
we know that washing cars is definitely a hobby of yours. You wash cars so frequently, some people find it absurd. Do you have any sort of comment about this?
I mean, I agree. It's not much of a hobby as much as it is a job. My dad just asks me to do it, and I just kind of do it. Just go with the vibes.
How dirty does your car have to be before it's considered washable?
Probably like less than a week.
So do you notice a difference? Are you at the point where like 5 days after a car wash, you notice it's starting to look dirty, or do you just do it because you're told to do it?
Yeah, like I know that it's like somewhat dirty, but like it's not to like it's never to the point where like I would wash it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I seem to never get to that point with my vehicle.
Have you ever washed your car or gotten it washed before?
Yeah, so
It's
far,
happened very rarely.
for about a year or so now, almost 2 years, I think, and I have not washed it a single time. I usually just let the rain fall down, and when the rain falls, it washes my car to my liking, and I find that to be good enough for me.
I'd say that that's a little bit absurd. If I was like living on my own and like wasn't told what to do, I'd probably wash my car like maybe like once every like 3 weeks, like once a month maybe, because it does get dirty and not appealing.
What's your favorite car wash themed song?
I mean, it's hard to think of many of them. They're all just so good. So it's like kind of
So many good options to choose from.
I think that my answer would have to be My Milkshakes Bring All the Boys to the Yard.
Is that a song about car washes, or a song about milkshakes, or a song about
Yards.
Well, if you've ever seen the movie Dodgeball, no copyright intended here. But
Of course, never.
no, never. Actually, I might intend it here. But
I hope you don't.
so
We're gonna
the
have-
washing.
Before you continue, you're gonna try to infringe copyright on our show. We're gonna have to have you ejected.
I believe that the following content falls under the fair use policies.
Okay, just make sure.
Disclaimer.
Alright. So during the movie, they have to start a car wash to save their gym. And this song plays. What made this song so famous? So the song's playing while they're washing their cars. They got the hot girls out there washing the cars. And then all of a sudden, you see this one ugly guy washing a car. It's a very funny scene from the movie. Favorite car washing song right there.
It's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's about all we have planned for you today. You've been a good sport. You came through. We played with you a little bit. We had some footage of you washing a car, but ultimately it's all in good fun. Thank you for being here. Do you have anything that you want to say? This is your time. You can roast us back. You can anything you have that you want to.
I'm sure you wouldn't have prepared anything though.
So
I actually have prepared something for you guys. So
The first ever prepared roast back.
So you guys are two of my best friends, and I feel kind of bad roasting you, but it's your show. I feel like you guys always give people a chance at the end. I might as well take them up on it. So I presented a little slideshow here for you guys. So I'm gonna start off with Exhibit 1, Exhibit A. So this is a young Michael Abet right here. I just wanted to roast you a little bit real quick. So first of all, it looks like you ate yourself about 3 times. And
He's quite large.
yeah, that's terrible hockey position. But I really want to focus on, you look like the kid who only got invited to the party because his mom was friends with the kid's mom. Oh, wait a second. That is what happened. Also, you look like you play offensive line. And for a matter of fact, you did play
Does.
offensive. You did play offensive line in when you were little, and you hated it so much that you cried and quit. Your hair is, I mean, your current hair is pretty close to what it is right now. But I literally just want to take you upside down and wash the floor with you like a mop. That's you right there. So it's pretty easy to roast Leb. He's a pretty easily roastable guy. So we're going into the tape for Matt real quick, and I just want to start off with this picture. I just wanted to give you a second and ask you, why'd you do that?
So I believe I was quite, just like me in Atlantis, I was pretty excited. I was having a fun day. I probably said yay somewhere around this time, but I was like, let me give a little bit of a spicy pose to the camera. And I'm not even one for pictures for the most part, but I was like, you know what? I'm in Disney. I'm having a good time. Let's pose for the camera. And here I am.
Yeah, I can see why you're not really into pictures based on this.
It looks like you're trying to pull off the ultimate flex here by getting everyone to lose to the hand game.
I think I in fact did it.
Yes,
I kind of thought that he was like in 6ix9ine's gang, and he was like throwing up some signals, you know. And 6ix9ine might have snitched on him for this picture.
I do look like a gangster for sure.
Yeah, based on this picture,
especially with the way the leg crosses.
Yeah, I'm really not. Based on this, I'm really not surprised that I believed you in middle school about being gay.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you.
So
view the footage.
We got one more little picture here of Matt. It's not much to roast.
The fork.
It's kind of here. You look like Forky from Toy Story. This selfie looks like you just got hit with a flash flood warning, and you might have pulled a groin, like a little groin spasm in the pool basketball. But most of all, this selfie looks like you just got your first iPhone and wanted to test out the selfie camera.
That, in fact, is probably what's happening.
Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up for my presentation. I just want
that was very well done.
Just want to roast you guys back in a little good fun, you know.
So we just want everyone watching here to know that this is the proper way to execute your given opportunity. No one else has taken some sort of advantage of it in any way, and we finally have someone with a little bit of rebuttal, even though it might have been too little too late. You did your best. You came at it. I'm proud of you, Pete. How do you feel?
These people are lacking out here. You really got to take advantage of your opportunities. I thought I did a good job. It's kind of hard to roast Matt. He's so darn cute, but you're an easy one.
So before we get going here, do you have anyone in particular that you want to shout out to see on our show in a next coming episode?
So one person I'd really like to see on the show would be Nora Grimbergen.
That's a great choice. We haven't heard that one yet.
But no, she's pretty hard to get in touch with.
So I have her number.
Hard to get in touch with. I just don't see a situation where she would agree to be on a show of this caliber. But hey, if we can get enough fans and enough attention, maybe we'll be able to pull off a stunt like that.
10 likes on this video, and we will get Nora Grimbergen on.
For now, what about a realistic idea?
It's kind of tough, you know. You guys just know so many famous people that it's hard to choose between one. So I might have to go with the most famous of people and shout out. It's kind of tough. I'd like to see Spencer Solomon, the gifted cameraman who got me washing my car. I'd like to see what he has prepared for you guys and what you guys have prepared for him.
We have a lot prepared for him. So we're looking
the cameraman was Spencer Solomon?
Yes, the cameraman.
Oh. Interesting.
You know I have other contacts in that household, Pete.
I see where you're going with this. I don't know if Spencer would be okay with that, but your girlfriend does
get a chance to rebuttal, you know?
Your girlfriend does live in that house, so
it's the truth.
All right, well, Pete, thanks for being here. We'll be sure to have you on at some point again, whether it is a cameo or when hopefully we have another dedicated episode. You did great, and
who knows? It might be sooner than anyone thinks. So we'll see.
Yeah. So thanks for stopping by.
No problem. I'll be back, boys.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.